Know the top stories of the day. Understand the issues that matter. This is Manila Bulletin News on Web. Your quick rundown of top news in the country and around the world. Manila Bulletin, celebrating 120 years of timely stories and timeless truths. Be fully informed. Hi, I'm Barbie Atienza. This is MB Now, and here are your news on web. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte admitted on his Monday televised address to the nation that imposing a pandemic lockdown is an option that the government hates to take but must do it for the sake of public health. The president explained that the modified enhanced community quarantine or MECQ implemented in Metro Manila and other areas was necessary to limit movement and curb the spread of the coronavirus disease. Metro Manila, Bulacan, Cavite, Laguna, and Rizal have been placed under MECQ, the second highest of the four quarantine classifications from April 12 to April 30, 2021, to keep the coronavirus numbers down and health systems operating. The MECQ rules included a stay-at-home rule except for going to work and getting essential needs, as well as limited mass gatherings and business operations. These five places, collectively known as National Capital Region Plus, were previously under a 2-week enhanced community quarantine or ECQ, the most restrictive of the risk classifications due to the rapid surge in coronavirus cases. Other areas placed under MECQ until the end of the month are Santiago City, Quirino, and Abra.
So mga kaibigan ko, kailangan ninyong maniwala. Hindi dahil sa gusto namin na may MECQ kayo, ECQ kayo o presuhin kayo lahat. Much as we hate it actually, doing it, we have to because on our shoulders for the lap of the grave responsibility of seeing to it that the nation is safe.
House Speaker Lord Alan Velasco said the country's economic and finance managers are now identifying possible sources of funds for their 420 billion peso proposed Bayanihan 3. Velasco disclosed in a statement on Tuesday, April 13, that he spoke to Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III and Budget Secretary Wendell Avisado last April 8 and was told that their respective agencies were already looking for funding sources. Velasco has been pushing for the passage of the Bayanihan 3 or the proposed Bayanihan to Arise as One Act, which calls for a 420 billion peso stimulus package to augment the government's resources for addressing the COVID-19 crisis and its impact. The measure is pending with the House Committee on Economic Affairs, which would consolidate all Bayanihan 3 related measures. Velasco said he hopes that measures will be approved by the committee before the Congress resumes session on May 17. In the Senate, Senate President pro tempore Ralph Recto had filed his own version of a Bayanihan 3, the proposed Bayanihan to Rebuild as One Act, or Senate Bill number 1953, which aims to appropriate 485 billion pesos as a continuing response to the pandemic and accelerate the country's economic recovery. Some senators, however, seem cold to passing a Bayanihan 3, pointing out that existing COVID-19 laws have yet to be fully implemented and allocated funds are not fully disbursed yet. They also underscored the need to identify fund sources before a new Bayanihan law is tackled and passed. Meanwhile, Velasco said that 224 members from the House have so far signed either as principal authors or co-authors of the Bayanihan 3 bill. To the people speculating about his whereabouts in the past 2 weeks, President Duterte has not left Manila all along. Emerging from a 2-week absence in the middle of a raging pandemic, the president explained that he has been staying in Malacañang all this time and sleeping alone. Duterte admitted that he intentionally stayed away from the public eye after resenting his critics for speculating about his alleged poor health. The president also rejected speculations about his supposed ailment, insisting he was healthy enough to perform his duties as the country's leader. He also argued that there was nothing wrong with him enjoying hobbies like riding a motorbike and playing golf in the wee hours, since he was not taking people's time. Duterte's health was put in the spotlight anew after he canceled his televised address last week. The hashtag Nasaan ang Pangulo became one of the trending topics on Twitter last week after some netizens questioned the president's absence. It turned out that Duterte was briefly being kept in isolation to ensure his health after several Presidential Security Group members became infected with the coronavirus disease. When rumors about Duterte's alleged poor health surfaced, his former assistant and now Senator Christopher Bongo released on social media several photos and videos of the president jogging, riding a motorbike, and swinging a golf club at night. The president, however, hit back at critics speculating about his alleged poor health during his speech aired on state television, saying that those wishing him dead should pray harder. He also commented on social media posts made by veteran journalist Ramon Tulfo and Senator Laila de Lima criticizing his absence.
Sabihin mo na itong isa, nasaan ang presidente? You know, baka patay na. Sabihin ko sana na, nandito lang ako sa Malacañang, natutulog ako mag-isa. Ikaw, sino ang kasama mo sa kama? Ikaw ba ang may-ari niyan? You know, it takes two to tango. Pag binabastos ninyo ako, hindi babastos ko rin kayo.
A survey released by the Social Weather Station, or SWS, on Monday, April 12, showed that 65% of Filipinos believe that President Rodrigo Duterte's state of health is a public matter. That is why the public should be informed about this. Meanwhile, 32% said the president's health is a private matter and the public does not need to be informed. This was the result of the SWS's National Mobile Phone Survey conducted on September 17 to 20, 2020 with 1,249 respondents. SWS pointed out that the view that the president's state of health is a public matter has always been dominant in all its surveys. The latest figure is 4 points above the 61% in December 2019 and September 2018. SWS said the percentage of those who consider President Duterte's state of health as a matter or public matter is highest in the Visayas with 69%, followed by Metro Manila at 65% and balanced Luzon and Mindanao with both at 64%. It is also dominant across the rest of the basic socio-demographics, ranging from 60% to 70%. In Metro News, Mayor Emmy orders strict implementation of MECQ protocols in Pasay City. Manila LGU starts vaccinating public school teachers against COVID-19. And Mayor Vico says his mother went through the vaccination process. More from this report.
Pasay City Mayor Emmy Calixto Robiano has issued an executive order on a strict implementation of health protocols during the Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine or MECQ from April 12 to 30. She said any gathering or assembly outside of residences as well as inside homes with person outside of one's immediate household is strictly prohibited in the city. Robiano said the market day scheme in the city is still in effect for all 201 barangays and each resident must comply with the assigned schedule of their respective barangay. The mayor also ordered the local police, barangay officials, and barangay tanods, Pasay City Public Order and Safety, and Pasay City Environment and Natural Resources Office to heighten the enforcement of the health measures and protocols. The Manila City government has started vaccinating the city's public school teachers against COVID-19 today, April 13. The teachers were inoculated with a Chinese-made Sinovac COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccination activity for teachers and people with comorbidities was done at Palacio de Maynila along Rojas Boulevard. This after the city government received 1,400 doses of Sinovac vaccine for 700 people. The mother of Pasig City Mayor Vico Soto, actress Con Reyes, who falls under the vaccination priority category group of senior citizens, has not yet been inoculated against COVID-19. The young mayor said his mother is now 67 years old and has comorbidities which he did not disclose. In a Facebook Live, Soto shared that his mother asked him for the link to the city's online registration for the vaccination and he told her to visit the Facebook page of the Pasig Public Information Office and follow the step-by-step instructions posted there. Due to limited supply of vaccine, the mayor's mother is still waiting for a text message that will indicate the schedule and the location of the site where she will be inoculated.
Here are the top news in other parts of the country. More than 2 million pesos worth of shabu seized by Angeles police. General Santos City confirms its first case of COVID-19 UK variant. And improvised explosive device explosion in Basilan injures a soldier and a civilian. Here are the details.
The Region 3 police scored anew on illegal drugs as more than 2 million pesos worth of suspected shabu were seized in an anti-illegal drug operation in Angeles City early Monday, April 12. Authorities conducted a buy-bust operation along Malacañang in the city against a high-value individual identified as Anthony Flores. Confiscated from the suspect were transparent plastic bags containing suspected shabu with an approximate weight of 300 grams and an estimated value of 2,040,000 pesos. Appropriate charges are being prepared against the suspect. The General Santos City government confirmed on Monday night that the returning resident is the area's first case of the B117 coronavirus variant, which was first detected in the United Kingdom. City Mayor Ronel Rivera said in an advisory that the patient is a 50-year-old male who was earlier identified as among the close contacts of a COVID-19 case in his undisclosed workplace. The patient and his family have already been isolated and being closely monitored by health workers. The City Health Office has already completed the contact tracing for the latter until the third level. A soldier and a civilian were wounded in a roadside explosion of an improvised explosive device or IED in Tipo-Tipo, Basilan on Monday morning, April 12. The explosion occurred while troops from the 12th Division Reconnaissance Company were conducting mobile patrol in Sitio Bohebeco, Barangay Baguindan at around 6:25 a.m. The soldier and the civilian were immediately given first aid and taken to a hospital in Lamitan for medical care and are now in stable condition. Authorities said that the Abu Sayyaf group tends to conduct desperate attacks since their weakened manpower and capability can no longer withstand the military's all-out offensives.
In world news, UK hits key vaccine target just as pubs, shops, and salons reopen. Saudi announces Ramadan starts Tuesday. And U.S. police shooting of black man in Minneapolis sparks fresh protests. Let's watch this report.
Britain said late Monday where population toasted a significant easing of restrictions with pins and much-needed haircuts. Prime Minister Boris Johnson said the UK had passed another hugely significantly milestone after confirming a jab had been offered to all over 50s, the clinically vulnerable and health and social care workers ahead of the self-imposed April 15 deadline opened to serve drinkers outside the non-essential retailers and hairdressers just in time for breakfast. Bundled up in coats and hats, customers sat chatting and laughing at outside tables ordering beers and wine. Saudi Arabia, home to Islam's holiest shrines, announced that the holy fasting month of Ramadan will start on Tuesday as Muslims worldwide face coronavirus curbs. Other Muslim countries including Sunni-majority Egypt and Lebanon have also announced that Tuesday marks the start of Ramadan, while Shiite-majority countries like Iran are expected to start a day later. The daytime fasting month of Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Observant Muslims refrain from eating and drinking from dawn to dusk and traditionally gather with family and friends to break their fast in the evening. It is also a time of prayers, during which Muslims typically converge in large numbers at mosques, especially at night. The starting date of Ramadan, the holiest month, is set by both lunar calculations and physical sightings to determine the beginning of a new month. Protests broke out Sunday night after U.S. police fatality shot a young black man in suburb of Minneapolis, where a former police officer is currently on trial for murder of George Floyd. Hundreds of people gathered outside the police station in Brooklyn Center, northwest of Minneapolis. Police fired tear gas and flashbangs and demonstrators, according to an AFP video journalist at the scene. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehensions confirmed to AFP it is investigating an officer involved in shooting incident in Brooklyn Center but declined to identify the victim. Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden on Monday called shooting of a black motorist by police tragic, but warned that violent protests were unjustifiable.
In entertainment, Hollywood star Brad Pitt and his friends Christina Patwa and John Fogelman ventured into beverage business as they launched a new organic cold tea brand, En Route, inspired by the flavors of the Philippines. The new beverages consist of 5 unique blends that pay homage to its co-founder Christina Patwa's grandmother and her legacy as a farmer and food entrepreneur in the Philippines. The female-led small business was founded by the 3 friends based on their shared passion for food, family, and farms, and a desire to help make a change in the food industry. In sports, the NBA postponed Monday's game between the Minnesota Timberwolves and Brooklyn Nets in the wake of the fatal police shooting of a black man in a Minneapolis suburb. The postponement came after the shooting of Daunte Wright by police in the Minneapolis suburb of Brooklyn Center on Sunday. The shooting, which comes with Minneapolis already on edge because of the George Floyd murder trial, sparked protests and looting overnight. The Minnesota Twins baseball team had also called off their game against the Boston Red Sox following the shooting. And those are the news on web today, April 13, 2021. For more news and details, get your copy of the Manila Bulletin newspaper tomorrow, or you can log on to www.mb.com.ph. Or you may also subscribe to our newsletter through the link in this video's caption to have the day's latest news delivered to your inbox. I am Barbie Atienza for Manila Bulletin. Join us again tomorrow. This has been MB Now. Be fully informed. And